Hollywood, the Alzheimer's of the film industry. They don't just kill the movies they love, no. They turn them into faded shells of what they used to be. The biggest difference being, there's no pillow to end the suffering.
God damn it, we want a zombie polar bear.
The general message I got from people that didn't like this season is that nothing happens for most of it. And boy are they right, lots of useless fluff. But I don't think that's the biggest problem. For one simple reason, you can fix it. If not a whole lot happened, but everything that did take place makes sense, then you could just hire some better writers, give them a bit more time and let them write the next season better. The real issue is their approach to making the series sell. The approach isn't, if it makes sense, let it happen. Instead it's, if it keeps the crowd cheering, make it happen. The story isn't about characters making decisions that make sense to them anymore. It's a bunch of events the writers had to reach tied together with weak plot devices that very often contradict the characters and the way they would act judging by their past experiences. The result? What happens to those characters stops mattering. If Baelish doesn't act like Baelish, then why should I care? If it makes no sense for Snow to go beyond the wall, then why the fuck does it matter if he dies? So when did their attitude towards making the show become this shitty? Well, it might have been like this before the show even started. The thing is, Game of Thrones was based off a book series, so they weren't the ones deciding where the story goes most of the time. I say weren't because the last two seasons were written from scratch by these two guys. Both seasons are bad, by the way. They're fun, but have very little to offer in terms of subtle writing, which was the thing that hooked me on the show in the first place. So I'm good, no thank you! You like it when the only purpose of the scene is fan service? Game of Thrones has your back. You like it when a good scene is sacrificed because the writers had to please general audience? Look no further. You like watching people die for stupid reasons? Go to Live Leak, I guess? Yeah, fan service, it's tolerable if it doesn't lessen the effect or tone of the scene and remains as a little thing on the side. Don't do that. Oh, fuck. However, when the scene is all about making you question the intentions of these guys, and one of them looks like this.
Oh, that's really cute!
Yeah, I don't think Mr. Babyface is gonna hurt anybody. And behind the scenes, they talk about how Macy Williams is a big fan of this guy, and the only thing I know about him is that he's the one who wrote that shitty song at the end of the second Hobbit movie. I love him, as you can tell. So they didn't just put him in as some extra, they made a whole scene for him? If you're about to write a comment about how presumptive that is of me,
consider this.
Did you get something out of watching through that part besides the, well, that's really nice of these guys to share? No character development, no story development, we learn nothing. If the scene turned into a rabbit cooking tips segment, that at least would have been something. They also say that
just a nice moment for her to really enjoy human company without lies and trickery.
But fuck that excuse. Hot Pie scene is the same thing, and at least in that part Arya finds out about the Boltons being dead.
You're lying.
House Bolton. Bolton. Oh, and Bolton. Pie cooking tips. Bolton. See? That's better.
Secret is browning the butter before making the dough. Most people don't do that because it takes up too much time.
I didn't do that.
The fuck are you doing? You know what I would change? Scrap Hot Pie entirely, that character's boring, and make soldiers converse about the Battle of the Bastards.
That Jon Snow is a scary bastard. Wouldn't want to fight that fucker.
See? One pointless scene left. Uh-oh, but there's no Hot Pie and we gotta have Hot Pie! People love Hot Pie! What do you mean this scene could be easily removed? What's that? The wolf scene too? Yeah, that one is even worse. They try to play the whole Nymeria is changed, just like me angle, but the writers were afraid to be subtle, so they just made Arya say the message out loud.
Nymeria is changed. She is a different wolf now. Do you get it? Just like me.
People love it. I realize that I sound like an asshole screaming about how mad I am that everyone else is enjoying themselves, but I'm okay with people having their shows that consist mostly of, hey, this is that character, you love him, right? Just because it's not my thing doesn't mean I mind having it around. But when you hammer in constant, hey, you recognize that face? Scenes into a show all about good writing, then fuck off. I don't care about some people screaming and crying for 40 minutes straight and then forgetting everything they just watched.
Come with me.
Jesus. What's the trendy message we still didn't mesh into our show? Oh yeah! Girl power is a thing. Let's make the girls train to fight zombies too.
You serious?
Fuck cooking, making clothes, keeping houses warm and all that. That's not a vital part of war. It's not like most of them won't be able to do a thing when these cunts rush them. Girls rule. Yeah, they love it. They love it isn't an excuse to write like shit.
Come to thrash?
Thrash? You mean stage diving, or...?
You're such a poser. If you can't even name a simple nose slide or a tray flip, you should walk on.
Look at this.
Are we gonna pretend that Jon and Daenerys romance wasn't done horribly? No. The second time they talk, they immediately open up about their struggles. Out of nowhere, there's this sense of familiarity between them.
We all enjoy what we get.
No, I don't.
So not only did they turn them into pals because the fans wanted it, they did it in the laziest and fastest way possible. Why did Jon like Ygritte? Because she was always honest with him. Because she saw him as more than just a soldier, even when he was her enemy. Because she understood why he made the decisions that ultimately threw them on different sides of the fence. Why does Jon like Daenerys? Because she's unreliable when it comes to dealing with her?
I am altering the deed.
Because she contradicts herself every time she opens her mouth. Don't judge me because I'm a Targaryen, but yeah, the throne is mine. I'm a Targaryen, don't you know? Stop thinking about your pride. Bend the knee to me! Maybe he's into her killing prisoners of war whenever she feels like it. You don't agree to fight for a person who incinerated your friends 2 minutes ago? Whoops! He doesn't just like her because the writers wanted to like her, right? That can be right. You know, it really seems like this character... Once upon a time, George R. R. Martin had an idea. What if I turned one of the most intelligent characters from my book into a bumbling idiot? Then he got up, wiped that idea off, and flushed it. Sometime later, Benioff and Weiss had the same happen to them, but without the toilet paper. Why did Littlefinger leave the place controlled by people that despise him?
I know what you did. Well, obviously because his obsession with Sansa clouded his judgment.
Oh, you mean that thing that never happened to him? Because he wasn't capable of feeling for other people? He didn't love Caitlyn, he just wanted to have her.
This is for you.
But fuck me for wanting him to act according to his character. People wanted something to happen, he died. That's more of a small, isolated example. The bigger and more all-encompassing point is this bleached little princess. Now, let's all put on our tinfoil hats and channel our inner Madcap. What if Daenerys is actually a genius manipulator? Every single person is only buying her bullshit about being the savior of the people because she has a cruel trick up her sleeve.
Fermented crab. What?
Notice the color of her hair. Notice the color of the crab. Every single time she supposedly saves the people, she's the one to benefit the most. Killed the owner of the Unsullied? Now she has an army. Freed the slaves? Now she has a city. Why would anyone believe in her being a friend of the people otherwise? Tyrion saw the way she rules. Every single time she doesn't do what her advisors tell her to do, heaps of people die.
Enough with the clever plans.
We've discussed them.
And yet, he believes in her. Some of you might say, but what about Missandei? She's no penisman. Or is she? Why do you think she's so interested in our boy Grey Worm? He can't give, but he can take. The biggest enemy to Daenerys right now is Varys. He's the only one that obviously doesn't fall under a crab spell, seeing as he's a eunuch. The only reason she didn't kill him already is because she's trying a new technique, a ritual of sorts, which calls upon a person's episode 1, the phantom penis. Is she powerful enough to master said technique, or is her pride out of control? If the latter is true, then we all know what comes after pride. Perhaps this will put an end to the rule of the crab. And if you're still on the fence about this completely reasonable theory, note how as soon as she notices that her fermented methods aren't working on Snow, she starts slowly closing in on him, putting him in range.
To get that crazy pussy. This isn't a debate.
Do everything she tells you and you'll get something for me. I'm telling you, this is the only logical explanation to everyone's unconditional love for this. I hesitate to even call her a person. Wait, the Night King. Why didn't they throw the spear at this dragon? They would all be dead. He's not even close for the crab to work. I guess that theory doesn't explain everything. Debunked! You know what? I pretty much made all my points about why the show is the way it is. Now let's just have a bit of fun and pick apart the work.
No, please, Max. Why?
If you can tolerate everything related to the Snow Expedition, you can tolerate everything that happens in this show, period. This is getting into so bad it's funny territory. No hyperbole needed. I'm gonna start with a soft one, but you better get ready for everything that comes after that. So to destroy the whole Walker army, you just need to kill the important ones, and there's what, 10 of them? This isn't objectively dumb, but for me it kinda ruins the threat the Night Army posed. Remember that scene when this guy lifts his arms and everyone gets up?
Boom!
That was fucking terrifying because you understood how unstoppable they are. Now let's just kill those guys and the rest will just crumple. Alright, this is way too obvious for the show makers not to notice. So the lake has been frozen for a long time now, and it breaks when a horde tries running across it. Fine, makes sense, makes total sense. Then about a day passes and now the ice is thick enough not to break when the same thing happens? To me that doesn't seem like a tiny dumb thing they missed. It's such a huge fuck up that I'm thinking that maybe I'm the one fucking up? Maybe there's an actual thing about ice that makes it freeze better if you break it first? It seems ridiculous, but go ahead, tell me if I'm dumb. Someone just tell me if I'm being a moron in the comments.
You are a moron! I told you 6
Not
fucking
you.
times to...
Oh, now I get why Snow fell in love with her. She's just like him, always ready to fly off on an incredibly dangerous mission while being one of the most important people in the world. Oh, this is new level stuff. We, as the audience, know that the group is still alive. But what does she know? That they are somewhere beyond the wall, maybe alive, and that's a huge maybe. Knowing how much time has passed while Gendry was running, they were sending a Raven, and then Raven flying across the wall to Daenerys. Talk about a fucking long shot.
You told me to do nothing before and I listened to you. I'm not doing nothing again.
Oh, and this is supposed to be the moment where everyone screams yas, right? You know what? Let's not assume, let's actually check. Yep. They're dead, for sure, or at least they should be. When I was first watching this for a while, I was thinking that maybe the zombies weren't gonna run as a full horde, you know, because of the ice being thin, so maybe it would make sense that the group can hold them off for a while. But look at this. I don't fucking care how good you are at fighting, you would get swarmed. You can actually see that most of the time they're running around the island, some of them are just walking, which I don't get. Remember this? Yeah, they're fast when the writers want them to be. Every single nameless character dies. It has no impact. Even when Thoros died, I didn't care because all I knew about him is that he's drunk all the time.
Just the drunkest.
So there's this whole insanely dangerous mission. Everyone you care about is fine. And now we know that to kill the whole Night Army, you just need to kill these guys. You know what I'd change? The people that go on the mission. In behind the scenes, they tell us,
I mean, it's definitely got that, you know, gathering together these kind of misfits.
And I don't get how you can call King in the North and the Queen's bodyguard misfits. So you throw them out, because we all know they're not gonna die. Now, you try to spend as much time with the nameless characters. You set up their personalities, their motivations, strengths, flaws, stuff like that. You make all these characters care about each other. Admittedly, that will need a bit more screen time, but I don't see how that's a problem, seeing as this season is 7 episodes long, when all the previous ones are 10 episodes each. You do all that, and then you go ahead with the middle of the lake part. And when Daenerys comes, you make it clear that
I will be able to save your putrid bodies, but only under one condition. 3 of you need to hold the horde off for a second or 2. Thank you for your noble sacrifice, and may God have mercy on your souls.
And who decides to sacrifice themselves? Hound and 2 of the nameless guys that now do have character. It wouldn't only be dramatic if written well, but also make sense for the character. The first couple of seasons Sandor was always only looking out for himself. After the whole Arya situation, he started caring more about other people, which you can clearly see in episode 1. Now he decides that he wants to help Dondarrion, Tormund, and the 2 Nameless boys, and die fighting for that. And only one of the Nameless Brigade survives. He doesn't even have to be a prominent character, just show him in the background with the other soldiers now and again, like a reminder of the horrible things that took place during the expedition. Now you have a small character, you don't have to change your story at all beyond that. Snow and Daenerys' romance makes just as much sense, which is to say none, with or without him getting saved by her beyond the wall. And you get a nice arc for the Hound, right? No?
How is that fair? How the fuck is that fair?
Well, at least it's better than what they actually wrote. Daenerys shows up somehow on time. I mentioned it before, but now we can actually see how much time has passed between Gendry running for help and the dragon flying in. About 30 hours, judging by the lighting. 30 hours for
Gendry to run back to the wall, Master to write and send a letter, Raven flying across Westeros, letter getting to the Queen, Queen flying across Westeros.
No! So now the important guy is slowly getting a spear to throw, then he slowly walks to the edge, aims at a dragon that is very far from him and flying, instead of the one that is very close sitting and has all those people on it. If he just shot the closer one, Daenerys wouldn't have a chance.
Well, you can explain it by the fact that they are not human, therefore don't act in a most intuitively practical way to them.
Yeah, I'm sure you will make the same excuse if in the next season every walker just sits down on their knees, waiting to get killed for no apparent reason. It would make just as much sense. So after the spear hits the dragon, everyone just stops to grieve for a minute. It's not like, holy shit, this is bad, let's get out of here ASAP! As you're seeing right now, while everyone is sitting there doing nothing, the Night King could have just thrown 2 more spears. Thank God he just decided to stand there. I don't know if the team could get out of that one if he didn't. No, great, I love it. And what do you think our boy Jon decides to do when he sees that the dragon is down?
You think he decides to run back to the getaway car?
Maybe he just starts slowly walking back to the dragon. You guessed it, he just continues moving away from it. What a guy! Oh, he sees the spear, now it's time to run back! And yeah, everyone else is clueless. What?
Get out!
The dragon's dead? So, well, after some thinking and weighing up the options, they decide to fly away. Probably just because most of them got cold. And oh, phew!
That was a close call. It's good that everyone acted fast, because man, that was down to a wire. I gotta take these pills. You know, 1 or 2, because woo, that was tense. That got me. I really thought they were gonna... You know what, I'll just take the whole thing. Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
What's this? Oh, I guess I didn't finish it. Alright then, might as well. So yeah, the group flies away and Snow is taking a swim. Oh, and what do you know, his sword stays on surface. Can't have him lose that, right? So he manages to get back out after being there for, what, a minute? Yeah, more actually. Of course. He's soaked through, everything on him is wet now. He's dead. Nope. Out of nowhere comes Uncle Benjen. How did he know he had to save Jon here? Why was he nearby? Why didn't he get the fuck away when he saw a huge horde? How did his horse get through the wall of the Whites without them grabbing onto him? What has he been doing since the last time anyone saw him? I know that the term Deus Ex Machina has already been ruined by a certain someone, but here it actually applies. So are these questions gonna be explained by him? No, he has to sacrifice himself. The horse can carry them both. Why
no, sacrifice! Sacrifice!
So he just hits 3 guys with his mad fire twirling skills and dies? What a fun character that was. We saw him in the first season a couple of times. Then he came to rescue Bran and Mira 5 seasons later. And now he's dead. Maybe that's how they wrote him? If someone got into trouble beyond the wall and the writers don't want that someone to die, just call in Benjen.
Gotcha!
Oh, it's good to have confirmation that his clothes were soaked through. You know, I was mad that he was able to survive that minute-long dip, but I guess it's fine as long as he gets really sick. You see what I'm doing? I'm setting up the fact that I'm expecting the series to deliver on a healthy amount of realism, to then be very angry at the fact that the realism is non-existent. Oh, look at that, he can talk and he doesn't even need to be covered all the way, despite it being really cold. How infuriating and unexpected.
Thank you, Danny.
It's this guy!
Oh, I love this. There are two huge flaws with this scene. Both have to do with setting something up. The first one is, where did the walkers get these huge chains? You need a setup for something that unusual. The second one is, even having these chains, how did they manage to hook them up to the dragon's body? For that, you would need some walkers to swim to the dead dragon. Problem is, it's been set up before and referenced later that
they swim.
No.
Like, I get it, the script turns out bad when people don't care, but I kinda like the variety of fuck-ups on display. Ah, shut up. I'm just trying to bury this thing with some enjoyment. Speaking of that, we pretty much got through it. Only one episode left and it is better than the last one, which, if you paid attention, is not saying much. As much as I'm shitting on season 7, it's still not the worst thing you can watch. You'll probably get quite a bit of unironic enjoyment out of it. There's a bunch of great looking shots, some clever dialogue here and there.
Maybe it really is all cocks in the end.
Even some small characters you genuinely feel for.
I didn't expect it to smell like that.
The last episode had the whole dragon pit part. That was tense, right?
We've been here for some time.
Well, it was. Right up to the moment where they started talking about dwarf jokes.
These wasn't even good.
Yeah, I'm really shaking in my boots over here. Alright, if you want me to actually give one scene credit, it's the Jaime versus Cersei one.
What did you think of Blade Runner 2049?
I thought this movie was stark, beautiful, epic, visually stunning, amazing, intricate, and boring.
I had no idea if he was going to survive. Made me momentarily nostalgic for how tense the first seasons were. Also makes it feel more tragic to once in a while see great writing shine through the pile of garbage that the show is now. Again, the Alzheimer's analogy works perfectly. There you go! The end ties into the beginning. Some anime-style pacing for you. Alright, so, what is this channel and what do you do to get more videos like this? Well, let's answer that. This channel is gonna be mostly about heavily edited reviews on entertainment media. So stuff like reviews on video games, TV shows, movies. Probably not music. I'm not very experienced with that. But you never know. You never know. So what do you do to get more videos? You need to get more eyes on this one. You need to tell your friends. Tell your friends with in any way you choose. You just tell your friends and they see this video. You need to like this video. I'm pretty sure you know how to do that. You comment on this video and you subscribe. You do the 3 things every fucking YouTuber tells you to. You like, comment, subscribe. And what do you get for that? If you like, you don't get much. I get something. My video gets bumped up in recommended. But you don't get much. You fucking clicked a button. Woohoo. You don't get much. But if you comment, I read your comment and maybe I'll reply to you if it's a question. And if you subscribe, you get my videos in your subfeed. The videos aren't gonna come out very often, so you're probably gonna need to hit the notification bell. I don't use that thing, but I'm very attentive with my subscriptions. I don't miss videos. You're probably subscribed to 5 Let's Play channels, so they're gonna bury my video in them. So, you know, hit the notification bell. It's gonna keep my videos safe, keep them in your mind, keep you good, keep you nice. So yeah, when you do all those things, you can rest happy. You can know that you helped me. Thank you.